In the heart of rural Zimbabwe, where the winds whispered secrets through dying maize stalks, sat the village of Chitambo, a place forgotten by rain, cursed by hunger, and trapped in poverty like cattle in a pen. Chitambo was born poor, raised poor, and grew poorer with every breath. They had no clinic, no tarred roads, no electricity, and no sense to stop breeding. Every full moon, screams of childbirth rang through the night. Children were born like termites, 5, 6, sometimes 10 in 1 month. And what did they eat? Mischief, leaves, crack bones. The mothers cried quietly as they nursed empty breasts. Fathers disappeared into the bush, pretending to hunt when really, they were hiding from their own shame. Still, they kept having children, as if hope alone could fill a pot. Then came Mamoyo. In a silver Land Cruiser, she drove in from the city wearing heels too high for dust and sunglasses that never left her face. She wore lipstick the color of fresh liver and jewelry that jingled like coins in a gambler's pocket. No one knew why she came. She just did, with a large black pot in her boot and a promise on her lips. "I'm here to feed your village," she said, smiling like a jackal in church. "Let me build a feeding kitchen. Free food. Every day. For every child." The villagers were stunned. "Free?" the chief asked. "Free," Mamoyo smiled. "You just bring your children. I'll handle the rest." They ululated, sang her praises. A rich city woman who wanted nothing in return? God had remembered Chitambo at last. Within weeks, she built a huge round hut with a chimney that coughed out thick, sweet-smelling smoke. Every morning, a long queue of barefoot children stood outside, bowls in hand. And every day, she fed them thick beef stew, soft sadza, buns soaked in dripping margarine, chicken with bones so soft even babies could chew them. The mothers clapped. The fathers cheered. The chief toasted. And the children? They disappeared. Not all at once. Not loudly. Quietly. Slowly. "Where is Chipo?" She went to the kitchen. And didn't return? Maybe she ran to town? People whispered but never acted, because the food kept coming. And for the first time in their lives, they were full. Then came Nyasha, a sharp-eyed, sharp-tongued girl of 13. Her little brother never came back from Mamoyo's kitchen. So she waited and followed. One night, Nyasha crept behind Mamoyo after the last child had gone in. She heard strange humming. The pot was boiling, but it wasn't firewood that made the flames. It was bones. The fire crackled with tiny skulls. "You're cooking them," Nyasha whispered. Mamoyo turned slowly, calmly. Still wearing her red lipstick. Still smiling. "Why do you say that like it's a bad thing?" She said softly. Nyasha trembled. "They're children." "So?" Mamoyo shrugged. "You birthed them into hunger. Into dirt. Into flies and empty pots. I gave them purpose." Nyasha's voice cracked. "You're a monster." "No," Mamoyo said. "I'm a solution." The next morning, Nyasha stood before the village. "She is feeding us our children." She screamed. "Look at the smoke. Look in her hut. Go." The villagers stormed Mamoyo's kitchen. They kicked down the doors. And what they saw froze their blood. Bones, small, scorched bones, stacked in baskets. Tiny shoes and shirts tossed in a corner. A huge black pot, bubbling with a smell they knew too well. The chief fell to his knees. "You demon!" But Mamoyo walked in, calm as ever, wiping her hands with a white cloth. "Demon?" she said, laughing softly. "You gave them to me. I never took them. You lined them up outside my door and thanked me for the stew. You clapped. We thought. You knew," she spat. "You just didn't want to admit it. You couldn't feed them. You left them starving in your huts like rats. And when I made them useful, you let me. We didn't." "Shut up," she roared, and for a moment, her face changed, twisted, inhuman. "If I hadn't cooked them, what was your plan, Chitambo? More hunger? More funerals? More silence?" No one could answer, not even the chief, because they had no plan. They had children like weeds and fed them with nothing. Mamoyo spat on the floor. "You don't hate what I did. You hate that I said it out loud. They burned her hut, threw stones at her car, chased her into the bush. Some say she vanished. Some say she laughed as she walked into the flames and never screamed. But months later, when hunger returned and babies cried again, when the rains failed and pots echoed with emptiness, a strange pot appeared near the old borehole. No one knew who brought it, but the aroma? It was divine. A new young woman, dressed in red, soft-spoken, with city shoes, began cooking from it. And the queue of children started again. Because people forget, and hunger forgives.